We're having our coffee. There you go. The sound seems to be working. Oops, I forgot to bring up LinkedIn. Because agree and join. Sign in. Now it'll ask me for CAPTCHA or something. Because it's been doing that lately because, I've got so many machines running that it doesn't know what end is up. And here we go, live. Okay, we got that ready to go. Test the sound there. How's it sound? Agree and join. Yeah, sounds good. Michelle, nice to see you again. There you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. There you go. Let's dig in. We have a bunch of fun stuff today, and we'll start with the official candy of Miglash Marketing, which is partly sponsoring this show.
I feel bad for kicking your seat on purpose.
I'm sorry for mansplaining. That's when a man...
I know what it is.
We should have just told you it's a boy.
I wish you didn't have to hear all that.
Sorry I called you Karen.
That's my name.
Sorry your name is Karen.
I promise I will not eat any more of your friends.
Really?
Okay, it might happen one more time.
Okay, there you go. Miglash Marketing, all right. Okay, let's get to the real news because there is some really good stuff too. Hang on with me here. Okay, first I want to start with Printful to expand operations, create 100 new jobs. And this was in PI World, and I'm always looking for good news for printers. We have a webinar coming up next week, Thursday. I sent out some of the invitations. Some of you caught the error. Yes, there was a slight error, but if you click on the links, we fix it. So it's only a halfway error, and I got lots of nice comments, which I replied to. So look for that error on the email that went out from me yesterday for the information. We got lots of people signed up already, and I think there's going to be I'm rethinking this. I think a lot of my message has been to really big mailers and big printers. And I'm interested in helping big printers, of course. But I'm also, we had a great conversation yesterday with a new member of the WDMA, and Maria. And she said she's been running this print company for decades, and she's never joined a marketing association. And she's a regular watcher. Maria, if you're on, say hi, because, we like to hear from people. Good morning, Keith. And she said she's busy a lot, but so she likes our little summary of the news every day. So people think I go too long. My style consultant might say that. But the truth is that there's a lot of news. So I always feel like I'm cutting you off short at the end. But that was such an encouragement talking with her, and I gave her a couple ideas, I think, and that's one of the things. If you join the WDMA, you can call me up and say, John, what do you think of this? Do you think A or B? And I got another printer called me yesterday and said they want to participate more, and so we need to work together on this. But anyway, Printful has expanded their operation, doubling the size, okay? And I'll be reaching out to Davis, who's the I meant to do that already, who's the CEO. And here's what was interesting to me. Oops. I'm pointing and grabbing the mouse, and it's launching it across here. At the moment, warehousing is available in Latvia, Spain, North Carolina, and Canada. So in addition to California, they're in 3 other countries. And you might count North Carolina as another country from California. I probably would. But anyway, interesting. Now, I want to take you over to the Printful. Site, because I want to show you something that I really liked. Not everybody realizes that I started in B2B cataloging. I've had almost 80 clients in cataloging, and many of them, I think maybe most of them, were B2B. And so, I look for things, see things. Okay, this is their website, very clean. And they make imprinted products. It's not entirely clear. Create and sell custom products online. I would clean that up, make that more, give that more punch. And we ran a test one time. People weren't understanding what we sold, and we got a 40% lift by just changing the cover. So if Davis, if you're watching this later, give me a call because you might want to. This is good. Your design here, and that was part of the test. Your service here, I think it says. It's a little hard to see. It's a little bit, it doesn't really pop. But anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. I don't know where Greenleaf is. This U.S. should be the state because, there's probably a dozen Whitewaters in the United States, I would guess. There's one near me, so you could have that. And I guess, that's a differentiating factor. But, back in the 80s, the direct marketing, one of the big direct marketing categories for business to business was office supplies because, you might not know where to get your office supplies. And in the 70s, when I actually helped manage an office, I realized that the office supply store in town did not have the office supplies mostly. They got their stuff from a warehouse in Virginia or New Jersey. And so I was at a conference, and Erwin Helford, the founder of Viking Products, was there. And LinkedIn still has the article on the screen. LinkedIn. Yeah, there's the article. Oh, I see. Darn it. There we go. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This headline and this, it's nice. A lot of white space, though. And but this is what I was talking about right here. That items shipped, 1 million items shipped every month, and we just shipped an item to 10 minutes ago to Greenleaf, and 12 minutes ago to Whitewater, and 12 minutes ago to Colby, U.S. There's a Colby, Wisconsin, so I think that may be there. This morning, back at home, when I looked at it the first time I looked at it, it said Milwaukee, which is a little more distinctive. There's another Milwaukee in Oregon or someplace, but mostly it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I would take this and convert that to state rather than country. If you're in the United States, if you're in Spain or Latvia, I think it would be fine. So I don't know. I know there's quite a bit of difference in the provinces of Spain, though. So anyway, Erwin and I were talking at the cocktail party probably, and I said, Erwin, you I think would do better to communicate that you're as much a small town vendor as the local office supply store, because the office supply store is shipping from New Jersey. And I said, you would consider getting that message across, like showing, a picture of downtown and showing some of the companies that you sell to in the little town where I live, who's receiving your prospect mailing piece. Well, about 6 months later, I got a Viking Office Products and exactly did that. They showed a picture of like a generic main street with little buildings on there, and it showed, the restaurant down the street, and it showed another manufacturer in the industrial park and another distributor, one or two or three. Not a big deal. There were like open spots. And so what he was doing is, instead of just taking generic inkjet and putting a message on the back, he was actually filling in some of the company names. And it was tremendously effective, and Viking just exploded. I called him up a little while later and said, hey, Erwin, I see you took that idea to the bank. If it works, why don't you consider hiring me for a while? We probably have other ideas. And he never did. So that's why I'm mentioning him. And he's probably not around, but if he is, Erwin, feel free. We can get you on the show. A lot of my friends from 40 years ago aren't commenting today. Hey, Ed, nice to see you. Yeah, thanks for that tip, because I did miss that. Okay, so now let's get back to the real news. Okay, Shifman manufactures mattresses, and they're offering their retailers a direct mail option or a direct mail capability. That's why I mentioned that. But let's get over to Jim Coogan. Jim's an old friend. There's Jim Coogan. and he's going to talk to you about managing the pandemic catalog buyers. Again, go to WDMA.org and subscribe, and you get the show notes because I can't cover these in the detail that I would like. But Jim basically walks you through how to figure out if this big influx of new buyers, my clients just went berserk, 100%. When the pandemic hit, their website got 100% more visits. I mean, double. Sales went great. But the big question was, are these new buyers different than the buyers pre-pandemic? I've been arguing that we're really, now I got to get back to this one. I'm having trouble with these buttons today. It's because it's just covered up a little bit by the way I set it up today. It's very tricky just setting up the screen. Anyway, the big question was, are these buyers different? And we generated variables specifically for the pandemic. We looked at, for example, increases in unemployment rates. And, that information is available from government statistics. We created variables to look at how our sales and our customers were changing. So we scored each customer based on their geography and what the unemployment, if it had gone up dramatically. Now, what we found was, if we compared July of 2019 to April of 2020, we found that the places that went up the most were places that hadn't had much unemployment, like the suburbs. Okay, now that could have changed by now, but we may not revisit it because it didn't make much difference. What we were able to find, though, was that the July 19 unemployment, which probably was kind of a more entrenched unemployment, that did have some it wasn't great, but it had some predictive force, okay? So the question was, are these buyers different than buyers pre-pandemic? And what Jim says is pretty much the buyers aren't significantly different in either demographic makeup or response rate, okay? And I've been arguing that this is the golden age of mail because back in the 80s, only 50% of households had credit cards. And only 50% of households had comfort in buying remote. I'll call it that way. That's really what it is. When you're buying online, when you're buying through the mail, when you're buying over the phone, all of those things are remote buying as opposed to, it's funny. We call that direct marketing, but the truth is, the vendor selling hot dogs on this, that's the most direct you get, right? You're talking to the owner. Retail is a little less direct, except maybe when you're getting a demo, especially at Christmas. I bought some of the, never mind, anyway. And then you can't return them after Christmas, those little carts that are in the mall. Anyway, you want to keep in mind the households that are active mail order buyers, and you want to be careful about, for example, Amazon buyers who purchase based simply on price for products with a UPC code are notorious. Now, there's another problem, and that is with a big influx of new buyers in the lists that you are used to typically using, you get the watering the whiskey problem, where the list that worked last year may not behave the same because they've got an influx of these new buyers that may or may not be valuable. It depends. You don't know how that other company is marketing. They could be including, I don't think they're supposed to, but they could be including like a whole bunch of Amazon buyers. And you also have to be careful with seasonality, of course. The Christmas buyers are okay to mail next Christmas, next fall, but you may not want to mail them right again in the spring. And that's been true for years and years and years. Okay, so keep the sample sizes small. Basically, keep your eyes open. You want to also normalize your list results compared to the overall result of the campaign. Few mailers do that. Jim didn't include it, but I'm sure he does it. Jim is really smart. Give Jim a call. He's available on LinkedIn, and he's been doing great work for years and years and years. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. I'm John Miglosh.